It's episode 116, according to chronological order.
116.
Up the hoods. It's Sunday morning.
Chill Sunday.
We're up. Nah. No
Did
chill.
you have a Sunday dirt snack?
Did I not?
Did you?
Of course I did.
Yeah.
We were up and at it early this morning, hitting the road early. And we got the coffee on the road. And I was like, this is only going to end one way.
Yeah.
And that is the Sunday morning dirt snake.
You rarely notice when you take a shit, you're kind of clean man, but today I walked into a wall of particles.
Oh, yeah.
Just hit me like a fucking brick wall.
Yeah, I feel like, the way you do a piss in the morning and it comes out like, fucking bath shandy. and then you can hydrate yourself throughout the day.
Yeah.
I feel like the first turd's like that.
Do you piss first thing in the morning? Like most mornings?
Most mornings I do piss shit, yeah.
No, but first thing, it's the first thing you do.
No, not a lot of times.
Yeah.
Especially when you've got a child. Sometimes they're up at it and you've got to run downstairs, especially school days.
Yeah.
Get the breakfast sorted, get the whatever, and then, you're clinging to that morning piss for maybe 45 minutes before you get there.
Mine's is the thing that wakes me.
You just hang it off the bed and piss?
I just get up and I'm like, right, I'm full of piss.
Yeah.
So I'll take my morning piss.
Yeah.
And then do your little admin tasks, whatever.
I think I definitely get into bed and dick about too much and then have to get up for one more piss before I go to sleep.
Yeah.
So usually in the morning, not too much pressure to piss.
Yeah.
I can give it a minute before.
I gotta have a hard cut off of liquids because see, if I drink anything past 9 o'clock, I'll never go to bed feeling like I don't need to piss.
People are like that with caffeine and you're like that with water.
Yeah.
You're like, I have one in the morning. I have one water in the morning and then I'll be up all night pissing.
The Rockwell watershed is tight 9 o'clock.
The watershed. The Evian watershed.
Past that.
The Evian curfew, we call it.
Man, I had a My Waddy last night. It kept me up to 3 o'clock in the morning. Just consistently thinking I needed to piss.
Squirting piss flat out. Sometimes I'll catch myself off guard and be like, God, why am I pissing every 20 minutes? And then I add up the fluids and I'm like, I've had a lot of fluids.
Oh, yeah. Well, since the Yeti came back in action, shout out to Ocean, give me back my Yeti and my watch after 3 years. By the time I got it, I was like, this thing stinks. And only had water in it.
Oh, yeah. You got to clean them the odd time.
How do you clean them?
Milton tablets is good.
I seen I went on Google and someone was like, a wee tablet you throw in it.
Yeah. Milton used to be I think just in a bottle, like a bottle of bleach, and you had to measure it out and everything.
Yeah.
And now you just get the wee fizzy tablets.
Yeah.
Just put it in a bowl, throw the fucking yolk in there, let it fizz, put your stuff in.
It is concerning though that water can stink.
It ain't water. It's probably your stinking iron mouth residue on it.
Yeah,
ages,
maybe. Just fucking slappers.
I tell you what, one of the worst things you could do with a Yeti is put juice in it.
Mm.
You put an orange or something like that there, and it's hard to get that orange out.
Well, I remember in secondary school when everyone discovered protein powder and everyone was just on it.
Yeah.
And I had a nice shaker.
On the gear,
and the boof of that. Jesus, the boof of a protein shaker. If you do not clean it as soon as you get home from the gym, you might as well just throw it in the bin.
That's bad. I told you before in this podcast about a mate of mine whose brother dropped one in the car. And he's like, I might have to just burn this car. Could not get the stench out of it.
Yeah, it's far worse than any other stench you can get.
You do wonder sometimes why a car is so heavily carpeted.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Picks up everything.
I live in the countryside. I had to get myself the rubber mats. I couldn't be having a fucking carpet mat in the car.
Yeah.
I had to get the rubber one. And even that, the whole thing should be fucking like a Jeep Wrangler. You should be able to just power wash the inside of it.
Yeah.
I think that's what they're designed for.
100%. Well, you'll just get into some cars and you'll just feel the aroma immediately.
I must say, if we've had an intense week of podcasting and we're in and out of the car and fucking coming home late at night and McDonald's and coffees that get abandoned, the car be stinking.
Yeah.
And it's mainly just food particles.
Yeah.
You're like, there's a chip down there. There's an old mouldy coffee over here.
There's nothing worse when you pick up a takeaway and just the boofiest foods will just leave they'll be lying about in the car for weeks on end.
We got pizza the other day.
Yeah, pizza's pretty strong.
Still reeks of pizza.
Yeah.
Don't know what the crack is.
Domino's in particular, very smelly pizza.
Yeah, it's fucking dog shit.
Yeah.
Total trash. That's my snobbery. That's my food snobbery.
Domino's?
I'll just not eat it.
It'll give you a hangover. And you haven't drank anything?
Yeah.
You will have an old Dommy hangover.
I saw, one of these hey, I'm an American and I've been living in Galway or something for the last year, and she's going through like her favorite Irish foods, and she was, just the usual shit, like the dairy's better here. Any bread you buy just in the shop, better than America.
Yeah.
She was talking about potato crisps. She was talking about fucking whatever, and then at the end she's like, and I don't know what y'all guys' fascination is with garlic mayo, but that shit is on everything, and she's like, and I love it.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. There's nothing to dunk in New York. There's no dunk.
No ranch or nothing?
Not, well, some places will do ranch, but ranch is just garlic mayo with the crack.
Yeah. Without the thickness.
Yeah, exactly.
I want the wobble. Give me that garlic mayo slap.
I love it. Even there the other day, we all met up, kind of friend reunion, Pizzarama.
Yeah.
Sat at the back and,
oh, boys, like old times.
Their garlic mayo was something else. Like,
yeah.
It's so thick.
Yeah.
Like, it's concerning in the pot to look at.
Just with...
Then you dunk an old burnt crust in it, and it's fucking delicious.
Yeah, it's just whatever shite they put in it to give it consistency.
Yeah, it's
and
great.
You're just like, I don't care. It's like
because some of them get too watery.
It's like jelly.
You get watery garlic mayo.
But that's probably what real mayo is like.
No, you shouldn't. It has to be like, this stuff is like fucking
like Vaseline.
Yeah,
oh,
it really is. It's like a wee ramekin of Dax just sitting there. You just stuff your fucking sticks into it.
We did a gig the other night. And you come off all sweaty, and I was like, man, you should, because you were like, you'd like slicked your hair back like you'd been in the swimming pool.
Yeah.
And I was like, you gotta start doing that.
Man, Lavery's got hotter. I don't care what anyone says. It didn't used to be that hot. Like I never came off that sweaty. Like, I have to play a place like a couple of times in a row to see what outfits I can get away with.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Well, why do you think I'm in shorts every fucking week?
Here, 100%, because Lavery's is...
I'm a fucking... Now I've got a new complex. The slagging I've taken from my knees. I swear to God. Like,
you just can't do what you do in your life, man.
You can't have anything, you know? You put up the clip, you say something remotely clever, the crowd obviously laughs.
Yeah.
And some guy's like, what are the 12 people in that room laughing at? I didn't hear a joke. And you're like, well, do you know what that means? You're fucking retarded.
Man, don't listen to the ops.
I know, but you know what I mean? I need something in my life.
Don't listen to the ops.
I gotta do something. But do you know what I mean? You're like, what more proof do you want?
Yeah. The
whole crowd laughed. Obviously, there's more than 12 people there.
Yeah.
There's 160 people.
Yeah.
20 standing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Suck my cock. And then the guy's on other comments like, bro, why is your knees pointing different directions? And I'm like, well, guess what? Here comes the science. My feet were pointing different directions.
Bloody bastard.
Do you know what I mean? When you've nothing else to pick on, you gotta say something.
Crazy to watch a stand-up clip and really zoning the knees like that.
I know, you fucking... Why are your knees pointing different? Because imagine this. Here's my feet. One of my feet's like this. Because I'm doing a sort of slight, I'm doing a slight lean, hence the knees are pointing in different directions. Okay? Is that okay? Cock.
It's alright, man. Don't let the bastards get you.
Fuck, you know what? You like it? I like it a wee bit. I don't really care. But I like it a wee bit.
Lavery's was great.
Some other guy goes, bro, your knees have faces on them. And you're like, why is everyone pulling their wire on my knees? Look away. Look away, man.
It is some kneecap you've on you, to be fair. Two of us would have big old kneecaps. Like,
well, I have no kneecaps.
Wouldn't be a jar big enough for it.
The teardrop quad comes down over half the knee anyway.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. I'll be covering them with tattoos just to keep these pervs from staring at me.
What was it you talked about where it was like two of your body parts are just connected? Well, I can't even remember what we were talking about. We were talking about tattoos or something. And you were like, I can do that because my quad is just... Or was it your ass?
Oh, yeah.
Like you've no cheeks because it's just an extension of your quad.
My hamstring sticks out further than my cheek. I swear to God. I literally, if I pulled the shorts right up and just stood there, the hamstring and the quad go like this, and then flat ass and back. There's nowhere for it to go.
Yeah, I seen some sort of like Instagram reel the other day where it was like, I can't remember, it was like some pop singer or whatever, and they were wearing like Levi's, but they were kind of tight, and they had a wee bit of like a cute boy bum on them.
Yeah.
And it was like, the girl was like, oh, I just love when men have a bit of like, bit of an ass to them.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's a limit. Like.
Yeah, there's a limit.
And I went over that.
An athletic ass versus a bunda.
Yeah. Yeah.
Too far. Too far, bro.
There's wee like cute boy bum, and then there's what I have, which is just, you know, bricky hole.
Yeah.
Where it's just construction building.
No, it's not bricky hole. It's like, you know, African nurse arse. That's
Yeah.
what you have. You know? Someone comes in, I'll take care of you today, baby.
Yeah.
Turns around, knocks everything over.
The highest slit in Ireland too, like by far.
You're not slick back today. You're blown out today.
Aye.
You walked into my house this morning. I was like, God damn, you just off the yacht.
No, I just took the blow dryer too, you know. I was listening to Paul Simon this morning.
Look at that. Look at the volume out the back. Incredible. Look at that, man. Classic.
But
Love that.
Lavery's was great this week. Lavery's
Yeah.
was absolutely, utterly fantastic. Great
Yeah,
crowds.
It's you know, it had its yearly dip in May,
Yeah.
where everyone's enjoying the sunshine.
Tell you what, soon you do enough gigs in Atlantic City.
Yeah.
Lavery's a real treat.
Real treat.
Real treat. Real treat.
Well, we're here. Tell you what was a real treat outside Lavery's. Ready for this? No.
Oh yeah.
Big shite, man.
Visit Northern Ireland.
Discover NI. We walked in.
I said that like, is that a human shit? He goes, a dog wouldn't do that.
I was like, a dog couldn't shit that close to the wall. There's a big dump. And then I seen the dump on the way in. And then on the way out, you know, a rat scurried between the bins. And I went, oh, fuck. And then I went, oh, look, someone's in a very, you know, like this is, you know what this is like? Do you know in Glasgow when they put the traffic cone on top of that statue? Yeah. It's because that's how you Belfast the shit.
Yeah.
You know?
Just jam a bottle of Buckfast.
Jam a Buckfast in a big pile of turd.
It is art.
And that's a half bottle of Buckfast, so you can imagine the scale of that shit.
Oh yeah. That the picture doesn't do it justice.
It really doesn't. Like if you were like, do we have that bottle of Buckfast here? No, we don't. You know, you need a half bottle for, like, say it's the same size as a can of Coke, right?
Yeah.
To scale. Do you know what I mean? That's the size the shite was.
Yeah.
God. Harrowing stuff.
Happy Monday, folks.
Images of threatening auras.
Welcome to the Bomb Squad podcast. If you want us to review any street shits, send them in. That's brutal. Like, that alleyway is fucking, I mean...
Isn't it funny you can tell the start and the end of a shade just by looking at it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Start, yeah.
Perfect end. 10 out of 10 in the end execution.
Bit of a stumble here. thrown a couple of bits to the wayside there.
Well tapered.
The first one looks like someone stepped in a Galaxy Minstrel. Like it's one week minstrel, sorry. One minstrel. The minstrel cycle. It's just when we dot. It's just when we dot a shite.
Yeah, the minstrel cycle is strong on that one. Oh, dearie me.
Oh my god. If you stared that long enough, you can't smell it. Like,
I'm almost, you know, it's one of them shites where you're like, probably better that landed in the street and not in the toilet.
oh
For
yeah.
someone else to deal with.
Yeah.
You know, you'd be hacking that one to bits with.
Well, I dare say it would have swiveled. You know,
Yeah.
it would have swirled in the bowl. I'd say if they'd have
That's the
went
thing as well. Out in one go.
That's crazy.
You know?
That's absolutely crazy. But yeah, it was a great thing to walk. You know, just before we go to do the gig.
Get one last glimpse of that, folks, before I take it away.
Yeah.
Drink it in.
Drink it in, and
And we're gone.
okay. Yeah, seeing that in the way into the gig was so funny, you know. And then the gig itself, Wednesday was great crack, Thursday was great crack. It was good to see everyone too. Ian Thompson, Woodsy, Butler. Hope I'm not forgetting anybody. Jordy Robb.
We had some crack in that green room.
That's great. That's the best part of doing stand-up.
There's a guy in there, I don't want to mention his name, but he was talking, you know, everyone was talking about wanking, as they do. And one of the comedians, he was saying about getting caught out with a hangover, got caught out with the baby monitor.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like his wife coming up and being like, you know, I fully just hear you pulling away yourself. And he's
Yeah.
like, oh, well, what can you do?
What audio was going across? Like, was it the fap or was he like having a moan to himself? Is what I want to know.
Oh, well, if I had to guess, I'd say it's just a lot of rhythmic rustling and maybe a bit of strained breathing.
Yeah.
You know? And then one of the other guys in there, don't want to out anybody. But Mihal said he was, he's like, I fucking died at this. He goes, oh, the fucking lengths I have to go to for a wank.
Wait, what?
The lengths I have to go to. He goes, I'll have the fucking iPad open there and the laptop open here, and then I'll cast the fucking the security camera onto the Apple TV. So he just sees if anyone's, fucking 50 inches of security, just in case someone pulls up in front of the house.
Yeah, bank heist or wank?
He's got one eye in the fucking. You can see them pulling in the driveway. He's like, oh shit, put it back.
Yeah.
Pretend you're doing work. Just chilling.
That's one, I guess, plus of being a single man is, in New York especially, very little admin has to go in for me to pull the wire myself.
Oh yeah.
Especially because all the housemates have such different schedules.
Oh yeah, you can walk about the house hard.
Yeah. I do a lot of times.
New York, you just pull your wire in the street. No one would even give a shit.
Well, yeah, you know. Well, I haven't seen it yet, but apparently about a hack materials about a homeless guy wanking on a train or something like that.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, that shouldn't be a hack. It shouldn't be a standard thing that people talk about.
But I said to you that in itself is material.
Yeah.
Going like, it's so normal to you and it's not at all.
Yeah.
That sort of vibe. Can I tell you about one of the greatest days of my life?
What's that?
I had to go do my suit stuff.
Oh yes, how'd it go?
Right. Very quick.
Yeah,
just then.
good.
Just then. Like everything I buy, they go, by the time we have trousers that fit you around the waist, you could put them on a giraffe. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? We're like, we'll just take about 7 or 8 inches off the bottom there so that they look like actual trousers. But it's way out in fucking Ballynahinch. I cheated on you boys. I was contacted by the Mentality Monsters, right?
Nice.
They record in the dickhole of nowhere, but it happened to be not far from where I was going, right? Mm-hmm. So I go down. Loads of ones have done this podcast, like Shane and Mick. Everyone's been on it. Loads of ones we know next door. Mm-hmm. So I was like, right, I'll go down and do it. I thought I was being killed, basically. Like you go down a lane and it's just like warehouses and storage containers and all. And I was like, what is this? It's probably similar to when we bring people here. Mm-hmm. They're probably like, oh, I'm getting a kneecap.
Yeah.
I'm getting put in the boot here. So I drive down and it's the guy Kane and then his mate Matt who's like filming. And the guy goes, oh, before we start, I wanted to show you something. And I don't know whether like I think he has some involvement with it. I don't know if he owns it or he does a lot of work for them or whatever. I think he might sort of co-own it or something. There's a big tool shop, right? And it's like workwear and tools and tool bags and everything. And it's just bang in the middle of, like you wouldn't see it. You wouldn't know what's there. I think they do a lot of stuff online. But it's this unbelievable big complex, right? And you go in and he's like, oh yeah, I just wanted to show you this. Like, I know you're into like Carhartt and stuff. Wall-to-wall Carhartt.
Oh.
And the guy goes like, yeah, I just thought you'd like that. And, bit of a thanks for doing the podcast and all. He goes, take whatever you want there. And I go, excuse. I'm like, what? And he goes, yeah, just grab stuff. And I was like, I'm going to have to do this after the podcast.
Yeah.
So we go do the podcast or whatever in a container. They have a studio in a container.
Nice.
Absolutely unbelievable. I was like, I'm definitely being killed here. He opens the door and then there's like a fresh PVC door, opens it up. It's all fucking soundproofed. 2 seats in it. And I was like, man, this is fucking outrageous.
Lovely.
So, and then we go back in. He's like, no, seriously, take whatever you want. And I'm like, what? What, bro? What exactly do you mean by take whatever you want?
Yeah.
Because I'll fucking clean this place out. Like,
yeah.
And he's like, no, seriously, walk away. And so I was like, what the fuck is going on here? And luckily, I think all the stock they had was out. So a lot of sizes, they didn't have it, for me anyway. So I was like, bro, give me the fucking grey Carhartt hoodie. I'll get the fucking orange beanie. There was a girls' range of Carhartt stuff. And I was like, oh, fuck, Maureen would like that. This dusty pink Carhartt thing.
Nice.
They had, how they do like the Irish range of Carhartt like once a year.
Oh, yeah.
They're really hard to get. So it'll be like the big C logo with the fucking shamrock in it. Seen one of them. I was like, fuck, Maureen's dad would like that. He's always buying Carhartt stuff and all. It's like a large, wouldn't fit me. I'm like, get him that. Absolutely cleaned up. And then I'm looking at the bags and he goes, yeah, we do tool bags. We do like a lifestyle bag as well. There's this like black, shiny, waterproof backpack. And he goes, take that too. And I'm like, I'm like, what do you sell these for? And he's like, I think they're like 209 or something. And I'm like, I'm walking out of this place with about 600 quid's worth of gear.
Whole family dropped out.
A whole family fucking ready to go fishing in fucking Nevada. but I was just, you know, when you're just like, it's a Carhartt shop and I'm like, these are the things, I would buy these.
Yeah.
I would happily, if I seen these in the shop, I'd be buying these right now. And he's like, nah, fucking work away. And I'm like, okay, thanks for having me. And then I get in the car and he runs out after me. He goes, here, take that too. Full cooler.
Jesus Christ.
Velocity tactical gear or something. They have like their own brand that they design bags and stuff. And he gives me, he goes, that was a display once, a bit dusty, but take it with you. Full cooler.
You wouldn't get it off Oprah.
I know. I was like, thanks for having me, man. And I was like, I will let you know, this is the best day of my life. This is the best day I've ever had in my life.
Child in a sweet shop.
Oh my God.
But see, work away is tough because when someone says work away, like
But that's what I mean. Yeah.
there's a couple of scenarios I've had where it's like, I take whatever you want there.
Yeah.
I'm like, but I will take the piss and then I'll feel guilty about it. You know? So you're like, what is the optimum amount of things to take here?
Had there been a bit more stock in double XL, he'd have been regretting it.
Yeah.
But, and then also what threw me off was like, a lot of the stuff's like actual workwear. So there's some stuff was class, but it was like a hot day and I was like, don't know if I really need a fleece lined lumberjack shirt right now. You know what I mean? So I was trying to be sensible about it. Like,
Yeah.
wasn't going to be like, oh my God, give me this fucking big, heavy Carhartt coat.
Yeah.
But I said to him several times, I was like, I'll pay for this. I will pay money for this. And he's like, nah, not at all.
There you go.
So shout out the Mentality Monsters and fucking, let me just get the name of this place because it's got a funny name. It's fucking Toll something. Of course it won't load up now. Jesus Christ. Tool Monster.
Tool Monster.
Yeah. Sounds like a porn site, but I couldn't believe it.
That's class.
Couldn't believe it. Like,
That's genuinely class.
it would be like fucking, I don't know what your equivalent would be. You pull up somewhere and the guy's like, yeah, we've collected every bit of Tyler the Creator merch since he ever started and it's a discount shop.
Oh, I'd be away.
Do you know what I mean? It was
Yeah.
fucking unbelievable.
Class.
Couldn't get over it.
That's
Walking out
lovely.
of the place like this. Like I just, fucking hell, clunk. The bag, bro, the bag's lethal. Waterproof backpack.
Unreal.
Couldn't get over it. Then
I
went-
unexpected gifts I got her.
And then I went and got fat shamed at a suit shop. You're putting on a jacket and they're like, well, unfortunately, that's the biggest you can get in Europe. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
But the suit's good to go.
The suit's
Ready
good
to
to
rock.
go. The suit's good to go.
Yeah.
Per Begley with a flu. Pre-wedding.
Oh, he's currently flued up.
Nightmare.
Which is the time to get it.
Before the wedding?
Yeah.
Not on the wedding?
No. Couple of days in the bed, look after himself, it'll be all right.
Yeah. Always need to remember, like, if you're going to try on a suit or something, just wear a shirt. Just wear a shirt.
Oh yeah, the day I went to
You look fucking nuts.
the day I went for that scramble for the tuxedo, couldn't have wore a worse outfit to go trying stuff on,
Yeah.
taking things on and off all day.
Nightmare.
Your girl did say to me too to keep them tags to leave it back, but like I might just keep it. I feel like a real scumbag going in with the tux and tags on her again and being like, "Can I just have my full money back?"
Nah, you'll need it again. You'll only be renting one again. Fuck it.
Macy's is just an anxiety warehouse. I've never seen worse in my life. Everyone in there is high dough. 7 floors of dough. It's fucking nuts. I hated it.
What do you think of I was just thinking about this a minute ago. What do you think of the Carhartt argument that people have?
What's that?
Well, they're like, I don't see you doing much Carhartt shit.
So you could say it for any clothes. I wear a skateboard.
That's it. You're perfect. You've summed it up.
You know what I mean? I wear skateboarding clothes. I haven't touched a skateboard since my WWF one that I got in Port Rush.
Yeah.
My man threw in the bin.
Yeah, right enough.
Wear Nike. Not exactly an
Per
athlete.
Nike Pegasus.
Yeah.
Haven't went above a stroll
No, 100%.
in them yet. You know what I mean?
And you could say it for literally any brand.
There you go. There's the argument. Perfect. You nailed it. I was trying to start a full ride there on the internet, and you've just been like, no, fair enough.
I did see like someone had like an art page thing, and it was like just like a bunch of posters. You could like scroll through whatever.
Yeah.
And one of them was like warning, and it was like dressing in Carhartt isn't a substitute for having a personality. And I was like, cheeky bastard.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I'll tell you what my argument is. It's guaranteed quality.
Yeah.
I think that's what, if guys are going like, let me buy a fucking a black jacket that's kind of warm, that has a nice collar on it, you'll have it for the rest of your life.
100%.
I think that's why people buy it.
Yeah.
But then also, you never know when a fucking rodeo might break out. You know what I mean?
There is just a thing too of like, you know, I like it, so I'm gonna buy it.
Yeah. Suck my dick and balls.
I haven't got called out in the skating stuff yet now. You know.
What skating stuff are you wearing?
Well, I wear fucking awesome, and I wear
Big pair of
bit
Osiris
Supreme,
shoes.
bit of Palace, you know. Which I'm glad Supreme, I think, is kind of in its days where the hype is dying down.
Yeah.
Which is great because you can actually get the stuff now
Yeah. I mean,
instead of elbowing for a bunch of 16-year-olds with braces to get a hoodie.
yeah. Fucking move out of there. You come out with a belly top on like Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah.
Secured. Bag secured.
Yeah, they've all moved on now. They're all on the.
But has it went more of like it was majorly hyped where people are killing each other to get it to it's hopefully just like a like a staple kind of.
Yeah, I mean, they did get bought over by like some big outfit,
Yeah.
and it's made their quantity of stock go up and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
like, it's definitely not in the days of like, you know, everyone was fucking gunning for a
Yeah.
particular thing. There'll still be like collaboration pieces and stuff, and the box logo hoodies will sell like fucking. You'll have to enter a raffle and stuff. That's where I draw the line. I'm not entering a raffle to get a t-shirt.
No.
Fucking ALD, whenever we went there, and they were like, "Do you want to put your name on the wait list?" And I was like, "To what? Take a lap at things I can't afford?
Stuff that don't fit.
Fuck away off."
And the dismissive kind of like, nah, man, you got to come back.
Well, that's part of the.
And sure enough, we did. You know what I mean? You're gonna be fuming, and then you're gonna queue back up and go in.
part of the lore, as the kids call it. You know.
Yeah.
Although I quite like that over the massive line outside Supreme.
You like that?
You know, like over queuing up.
Yeah.
They're just like,
Yeah.
I'll give you a text and you can come in.
Yeah.
And there's not too many people in the shop.
Yeah, that is quite nice. And then, but Supreme used to have a thing as well where you couldn't try on the clothes. You know, like you used to, and part of their thing as well was like, you know, the workers there, they're quite dismissive. You know, borderline treat you like shit, to be honest with you. You know, if you were an outlaw going in for something for your son, you'd be fucking fuming at the customer service. But they used to have like blanks. So if you wanted to try on a t-shirt, they'd go, no, and they'd give you this blank that about 20 prior double XL men have worn before you. So you put it on and it's soaking.
Yeah.
You know, you're standing fucking in the changing room, which is basically, you know, the back of their closet. It's not an actual changing room.
Yeah.
One wee tiny mirror. And you just try it on. You're like, oh, I literally feel sick now.
Yeah, that sort of takes the, you know, breaks the fourth wall a wee bit where they're like, you know, here's the plain Chinese shitty stock that we buy
Yeah.
before we put a small box logo on it.
Yeah.
And you have the, you know, you can go try that on. You lucky bastard.
But I'm also a hypocrite
The
because
privilege.
even though like I don't get annoyed at all at people wearing brands of like, say like skateboarding brands, they don't skate, yada yada yada.
Yeah.
Band tees do piss me off if the person doesn't listen to the band.
Okay.
Especially like, you know, that as a big guy hip hop head,
Go on.
if I see people wearing hip hop tees and I know they don't listen to them, I'm like,
What level?
it just irks
What
me.
level of that makes it worse? Like,
What-
like if they're wearing like an old school hip hop thing, or is that more likely that they are a fan?
Yeah.
Is it more new stuff they're wearing it, and you're like, you know,
New stuff, yeah, definitely, because you've went out of your way to get that, you know,
uh-huh.
or like, but I don't know. It's, you know, it doesn't keep me up at night, like, but sometimes I will just see it and I'm like, oh, come on,
Come on, now.
you're telling me you listen to Danny Brown?
Yeah. Well, they might. That's specific enough where they might.
There was one time in the box, Cracks 90.
If you're wearing a 2-pack t-shirt, you know, and you're a white girl going to the gym,
Yeah,
I'd have questions.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
There was one time I saw a guy wearing, you know, the OF donut. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, fuck, man, you listen to Odd Future? And he goes, man, I have to admit I don't. And I was like, well.
But here's another argument. That's what makes it good merch.
Yeah,
Because someone will just go, that looks cool, I'll wear that.
yeah. Like if someone was wearing a podcast t-shirt and someone was like, oh, man, you listen to the Bomb Squad? And they're like, who?
Who? I read for Belfast Live. Who? But again, that would tell me, I'd be like, man, the t-shirt's so swag, they're just wearing it.
Yeah.
You know?
I had a couple of compliments. So, fashion capital of the world.
Does your good lady not wear the Bomb Squad hat all the time?
Yep.
She probably hates us. You know what I mean? She doesn't even know her second names, but the hat's cool. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it is great. It is great.
Yeah, I've told this story a million times. My sister with a Ramones t-shirt that she got in like Primark. And I was just like, do you know what that is? And she's like, no. And I was like, it's a band. And she goes, is it? And I was like, yeah. She goes, I just liked it because it was a purple t-shirt. And I was like, and she actually took it back for a play there.
Oh no, great tunes. Biscuit Bop.
Blitzkrieg. Blitzkrieg Bop.
The Biscuit Bop.
Biscuit Bop. If I get in the safe. That's a t-shirt for us.
Going for a tight one.
Jeans don't fit now.
The Winds are losing their
Biscuit
heads.
Bop.
Jeans don't fit now. Biscuit Bop. Man, I had a few Biscuit Bops the weekend there.
Be back big now. Don't fit my jammies. Biscuit Bop.
Jockey's fucked.
Chafing on my inseams.
Shading up my back now.
Biscuit Plop. Yeah, we should definitely have a t-shirt with a safe on it full of biscuits. Or you know, like what was that duck cartoon where he was like diving through money?
Oh,
Scrooge McDuck.
Yeah, Scrooge McDuck.
That's what you mean. A wee duck swimming through cookies and a safe busting open. Biscuit Plop.
Oh, fuck.
Biscuit Plop. Oh my days.
Oh, I did have a Biscuit Bob last night. Yeah, because the biscuits be stocked, like, because nobody else eat them.
Yeah.
So I come home and the Tupperware is just full of the same biscuits that was there.
Vintage biscuits.
Yeah, we're a big Cadbury snack house.
Yeah.
You know, and then on top of that, a couple of the Viscounts. You know, a couple of the old school minty chocolate biscuits. And then, of course, there will be a dash made to the M&S bakery section.
Of course.
Delicious.
I know. They got a lemon drizzle cruffin.
Finest cookies in the land.
Yeah, it's fucking.
Then I had to laugh.
Business.
See, you can't enjoy anything around my mother. Because I'll be vaping. She'll obviously give me the vape talks. She's tuned in now. Like, nobody knows more about vapes than her. Every mention of it she gets, she'll be like, I seen there, I was talking on RT there, people dying from these vapes. You're still smoking away anyway. Then I'm eating the biscuit. She goes, Sheila's youngest there worked in the bakery at M&S. She says, the amount of sugar in them things, if you knew, count a donkey.
Yeah.
I was like, what can I like? Is there anything I can have here?
Like she's got an insider.
Yeah.
Have you seen how much sugar went into that cake? Oh, for fuck's sake.
And I'm like, it's a cookie. Of course there's a fuck ton of sugar in it.
Yeah. I'm not eating it for gains.
Yeah. Folks, if you're enjoying this podcast and you're thinking to yourself, I would love the same amount again, head on over to patreon.com/bombsquadpod. We currently have a bunch of extras in there. We've got 2 Ask Me Anything at Alls twice a month. And then there's also the Bog Squad with Mark McCartney and the New York Tips. Get on over at patreon.com.
What's the opposite of gains?
Loss.
I know, but like in a fitness talk.
As in just getting fatter?
You know, like, oh, you know, we're eating this for we're making gains. What is it when you take a hit? Slips?
Oh, aye.
Not a biscuit slip.
A lot of slip.
Oh, it's true though. Like you ever, I've been there when Maureen's been making like a cake or a brownies or something, and I'm like, Jesus Christ. It's not even the sugar, it's like the oil sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
There's the amount of oil they put in a fucking cake.
Yeah, oily brownies.
Jesus Christ. Then you eat it and you're like, fucking kill me! Kill me immediately!
Oh, them outrageously custard or chocolatey custard creams with the death of me, like.
Oh, dear.
Losing a foot for the cream. Easy.
I'd like to give a shout out to M&S for making me lose both feet. But they do it all, you can stay healthy with a lunch and then absolutely just big slip on the puddings.
Oh, yeah. Well, especially if you have a sweet tooth.
You're like, oh, I had a fucking, mixed grain superfood salad, 2 sushis.
Yeah.
And then a fucking clogged artery with a cruffin.
Well, some men are blessed with the fact that the sweet things do nothing for them. Whereas for me, it's the main event. I love
maybe that's why
sweetness.
you shovel the dinner down so quick.
Yeah.
Get me to
Racing to dessert.
Get me to the fucking dessert.
Sprinting to dessert. Can't wait to get at it.
Oh, dear.
I'll tell you the fucking shambles of a family film night we tried to have last night.
Oh, right, okay.
So every time I'm home, now we will set aside an evening where me, Mum, and Nicholas will watch a film, and it's always a shambles. You know, nobody can agree. You know, I try and pick out films that I know Mum will like, which again is woman being chased by men, finds a way to shoot them, and she loves that. Put that in loop. She loves that. Last night we were going through films, whatever, and Nicholas is like, "I'll pick a film tonight," and I was like, "Right, go on ahead then. You work away."
Yeah.
Fucking letterbox over here. So then he comes back.
It's great that just like leaving the responsibility, like the whole night hangs on you.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
See how how you get on with your knowledge.
See in our house, if you pick a film and it doesn't get, see them too. Fucking talk about two rotten tomatoes. Just fucking rotten tomatoes. Can't enjoy anything. If you pick a film and it does not hit with both of them, you've ruined the whole weekend. You've ruined the whole weekend.
What sort of muck would you be watching?
And it'll get brought up the next time you pick a film. What was better than that last one you shoot? Because it was a pile of shit.
Is it like winner stays on when picking a movie?
Pretty much, actually, yeah. And my record is actually the best, you know, because I will, like, I'll not just pick. There is sometimes I've picked like an A24 film or something then, you know, where it's like, you know, there's a wee bit of fucking, you know, layeredness to it.
Yeah.
And the two of them are watching this being like, what sort of fucking shit? Is there something wrong with you? Like in the head?
What am I doing thinking over here? I'm going to think and remember things.
But so Nicholas picked, which he must have just went on Prime, right? And read like the kind of executive summary of the film. Didn't look at a trailer, didn't look at anything, right? Mm-hmm. But he goes, I've picked a film here, and then me and Mum walk in the living room, and he picked The Voyeurs.
Oh, Jesus.
Right? And I was like, Nicholas, come here. Can I speak to you in the hallway for 2 seconds? That's far too horny.
Grab me the throat.
I am not going to sit and watch that with my ma. I was like,
you fucking pervert.
I've heard about it, but I'm not going to sit and she goes, no, she'd be all into that.
Sydney Sweeney?
Sydney Sweeney, right? And I was like, I don't want to sit here and watch this film that is
Spell voyeurs. Spell voyeurs.
Voyeurs. Voyeurs.
Very good.
Is it old? Is it a bit older?
No, it's quite recent. You know.
And she's dishing out hand jobs in this.
So we did tell you what happens, right?
Did you watch it?
We watched. We lasted 6 minutes. My mother,
you came
absolutely outraged, right? So it starts off where now no mad sort of spoilers here, folks, but basically the summary of the film, from what I've seen, Sydney Sweeney and her boyfriend, who, by the way, I don't want to shit in anybody's career. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, if you're making bank, you're feeding your family, fair play to you. This guy was like half French, sounded like he had a bag of marbles in his mouth the whole film. So immediately I'm annoyed, right? Because it's like half French American. So he's like, oh, yeah, the apartment looks nice. And I was like, this is going to grip me the whole way through, right? Okay. So him and Sydney Sweeney move into their apartment.
Racist.
They're starting a new chapter in their life, right? They get the apartment. All of a sudden, because all these apartments kind of have that sort of like glass front, whatever. Yeah. There's no mad curtains knocking about, whatever. Yeah. So they're able to see into the apartment blocks across them. They spy this one couple and they're kind of chatting, whatever. They're eating a box of noodles and they're like, oh, they're quite like a cool couple, aren't they? You know, what do you think he does? What do you think she does? Whatever. And then the couple start having sex. Now, your man scoops her up by the armpits, puts her up on top of the breakfast bar and takes the cacks off her. Yeah. And I'm like, right, just a wee standard sex scene. It's mute. We can't hear anything. We can get through this, right? My mother immediately is like a Stephen Nolan fucking person phoning in. She's like, get this clatter off, right? And then I was like, it's only going to get worse probably. This is probably just like, you know, the build-up of tension, right? There's a scene where the boyfriend gets a pair of binoculars from the shop and is like spying on the couple across the way. Sydney Sweeney comes in, right? Wet dream scenario. She comes in from behind, takes her hand, puts him down his Levi jeans, starts talking him off. And this was the moment that broke Graham McCann.
So hold on a second. Are they the voyeurs? Or
they are the voyeurs.
Sydney Sweeney and the fella?
Yes.
Okay.
They're watching this couple across the way and, you know, it starts off, they're like, this is mad, we're doing this, isn't it?
Yeah.
But then they get too deep into it. You know what I mean?
And then did they sort of start putting on a bit of a show, thinking people are watching them?
We didn't get that far in, Colin. We got 6 minutes in.
Right, okay.
And then it had to be turned off.
Yeah.
But my brother's argument to my mum was, she was like, get this off. It's clatter. It's a disgrace. They put this in the television anyway. Stephen! So we go to turn it off, and my brother goes, because Nicholas is enjoying the film, so he immediately
absolutely turds in the pocket.
He pops up and he's like, "What the fuck? We turn it off for?"
No, hold on.
And my man's like, you enjoy this? You're enjoying this?
And he's like, loving it.
But then I saved it.
Yeah.
I saved it. I'd already went on YouTube. I'd looked up edge of your seat thriller movie recommendation.
Edging is right. For 6 minutes.
And there was a film, what do you call the one split with Brad Pitt? Took all the coin.
Jolie.
Angelina Jolie. Yeah. She was in a film, Mother Loves Her. So I'm like, right, bang. That's the first green point. And it was about her as a firefighter trying to protect this wee boy who his father had been killed by 2 assassins. And they were trying to spread these forest wildfires to get him out, basically. Enthralled. Absolutely loved it. 10 out of 10. Pure cinema.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, see that? No need for hand jobs.
Yeah.
Did you watch the rest of Voyeurs?
No, I didn't. It was time for bed. But I was on my own time.
Yeah. Got a couple of minutes to myself.
Well, my own time,
I'll check it out.
To finish the plot.
Yeah.
By plot, I mean wank.
Wet dream scenario.
It's like plot
Sidney
coming.
Sweeney tugging you out from the back.
Oh, what? I mean the binoculars?
I love the remake that scene with me or you where she can't get her arms around your body. Where is it? Where? No, lift that bit up. Lift that bit up.
Can you unbutton that for me? It's just a point.
Wild chef. It was working off getting them on. Let alone trying to fucking muster a route underneath.
Now, here's the scenario. If you were faced with the same thing, right? Say you're in like a block of apartments, single man. Now, we're going to make this completely hypothetical, right? Yeah. Single man, block of apartments, glass front. You spear out the window, and you see a couple having sexual intercourse. Would you watch that? Would you immediately turn away? Would you give yourself a 3-second grace period and then walk away? What would you do?
Of course you'd watch.
Yeah. You would, right?
Of course you would. Like, anyone's riding, you'll watch it.
Yes.
And I assume if they're doing it like in front of a window, they're not that fucking concerned anyway.
I agree.
I seen a bit of... What?
I just forgot. Go to the century from Ray. Is there no fucking curtains in America?
Is there not a Harry Corey in fucking the States or what? Dunelm shut that day, was it?
Sorry, what were you going to say there?
I see. Me and Maureen were staying in a hotel, and it was one of the, there was none of that sort of action from us because we were going out somewhere. Everyone's blocked. Got back, slept in to fucking 2 minutes before checkout.
Yeah.
So it was like one of those just non-hotel stays where you had to sleep in a hotel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just come in hammered, sleep, wake up, have to leave immediately.
Yes.
She was getting ready, and I was peeking out the window, and down on the fucking. I swear to God, it was a similar scenario, only weirder. One of the windows was open, and there was a blow-up doll, like a sex doll, remnants from a stag do or something, probably in an empty hotel room. So it was just lying on the bed. No one was in the room, and I was like, "Fuck, look at that." By the way, I just opened it. I'm just glancing. I'm not like sitting there like fucking, with the binoculars out. I was just glancing. I was like, "Oh fuck, there's a blow-up doll." I looked down. The curtain's open. This girl in like a fucking green thong and like bra top thing hops on the windowsill, ass to the streets, like, and I'm like, Jesus Christ. And then this fella, they looked like they were about 20, right? This fella just walks over to the window, thumbing a chub, and he's just like, and they just have a wee giggle, and he's literally just like fucking working up a halfer, and he's like, and then she hops off, and then they close the curtains again.
Oh my God.
And I was just like, God damn. Someone's about to get piped down over here.
We had a voyeur scenario in London. And I live with the boys in the flat.
Oh, I thought you meant me and you.
In Bromley by
Let's go back to back, pull the wire here.
There was one of the fellas had said that a couple of mornings in a row he had noticed what would be described in the wild as a MILF.
Okay.
Would stand outside the balcony with a cup of coffee, tits out,
Wow.
having a cigarette, right? Now,
That's horny.
and morning after morning after morning, she was doing this, right? And of course, the one day where I'm up early, you know, and I fix myself a coffee in the house, whatever, and I'm like looking out the balcony, I'm thinking, you know, I'll take an little glance here to see if I can see this temptress. And I took a glance out, and I didn't even know which flat it was.
200 mil lens.
I just hit a dart of the flats, and the only thing I could see was, and it served me right, you know, for giving in to my caveman instincts like that.
Yeah.
But I just seen one oil boy in a pair of, you know, them just the proper jock straps, like the big, nearly 3/4 length boxers, white boxers. Just he was walking about the bedroom scratching his arse.
Respect.
And I was like, well, serves me right.
That's all you seen?
That's all I seen.
Oh, God.
Then I had to leave. But
there's part of me thinks like if you're walking out in your balcony with a Norks out,
you know what you're at.
yeah,
You know
there's
what you're
part of you wants to be seen.
You know what you're at.
You know what I mean? Because, you know, my wife, for talk's sake, wouldn't be doing that.
I did have a giggle at the old boy walking about and scratching the hole. You know, that was funny. That was a nice wee start to the day. You know, but people are into that. Like, people are, you know, that's their whole kink.
Yeah.
Having sex in public places and whatnot.
Here's a movie for you. I forget the name of it. I'll have to do some research. Or it might have been a TV show or something where someone had it was like a hotel that they'd purpose built for. Was this a documentary? I don't know. Might have made this up. It's definitely a documentary or a TV series or something. They made this hotel where they could, like, you know, peep and tom through into every single room. And this guy would just walk around in the fucking attic above all these rooms and just be like, nice. And it might just be like, you know, a businessman eating the Chinese or whatever. And then the odd time people would be shagging and fucking someone would be in the shower or something. But that was his whole thing. Big perv guy, just walking around, never did anything. Just loved a wee gander.
But is it perverted if nothing sexual is going on?
Oh, there's definitely something, you know.
But if you just like watching people,
it's without them knowing, it's probably illegal.
Like when people say, I love people watching.
Yeah.
That's watching people. But in a building, in their own confines,
yeah,
it's
but
more...
Yeah, but the people watching is different when you're like watching them, when you want to see them in the shower.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But that's what I mean. Like, if it's not sexual...
But it's not public either. It's not a public
Yes.
place. It's like you've went in a hotel room, you think no one's watching you, but then someone is. Someone's watching everybody in the place.
Yes.
However, I think the storyline in this thing was there was a crime or a murder in one of the rooms and he seen it, but then there was someone getting framed for something or something like that, you know, wrongly framed, and then he had seen, and that's the other thing, he was recording it. He was recording all the rooms, so he could like step in and go, it wasn't this guy, it was this happened or whatever, but then he'd have to reveal that like he's been watching everybody forever and recording it.
Oh, God.
If anyone knows what that is, give me a shout, because it was actually pretty cool to watch.
What did he do? Did he
I don't know.
expose himself as the pervert he is?
I can't remember. I feel like this was a documentary.
Yeah.
If anyone's seen that, give me a shout. But interesting
That is.
interesting dynamics.
The moral dilemma there.
You know, you save the day, but you out yourself as a perv. You better thank fucking God I'm a pervert. You know, this man will be in jail for 30 years.
I know. What do you think about, like, you know, say right again, hypothetical scenario, you know, you'd met the love of your life, but their kink was they like to have sex in public places.
Yeah.
How would you feel about that?
Great.
Would you really? Would you really?
I feel like you could get into it. And I'd a risky suck job somewhere.
No, the risk would be too much. The anxiety, like going back to...
like, there's worse things to be caught for. You know? You'd be like, oh, fucking see McCann there. He's with such a horn dog. She's sucking his dick in a phone box.
Oh, Jesus. No.
You'd be like, unreal.
Why you carry on?
Why was he eating a cheesecake out of a tray at the same time? I don't know, but, you know, whatever does it for you.
Well, I dare say it would probably be location dependent. You know, if I was sitting having a slice of birthday cake cheesecake, and then, you know, my baby princess is like, we'll just have a quick one here in the toilets, and I'd be like, oh, the Cheesecake Factory.
Nah, the toilets bit was where I would draw the line.
Yeah.
I'd be like, ugh.
Yeah.
Nah.
But then where else can it happen?
I don't know, in a secluded area of a park. You know, walk. You know, let's go hiking.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you just get behind a rock somewhere.
Well, it depends. Like, you know, I don't think it's
That's the other thing. For it would have to be kind of at least warm weather. You couldn't be like, man, what about we ride behind this skip? And you're like, man, it's pissing down.
Yeah.
Ugh, it's freezing.
Right in the rain. Not right.
Unless it's like hot tropical rain.
Yeah.
It's passionate.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
I saw a guy on Instagram there, and he was like, he was like a carpenter, but he just made like sex beds.
What is a sex bed?
Yeah, it's a good question. You know, what's stopping an IKEA bed being a sex bed?
Yeah.
But it was like, you know, it looked like a normal bed, and then, you know, like, it was like stocks, you know, you put your head and hands through and like lock your wife in it, ass up.
Yeah.
Which if she liked that would be ideal. You'd be like,
It is funny. I
no
usually,
chat out of you. Keep your head over there.
I usually hit them like, you know, public pranks where it's like, you know, you're going in somewhere and you're fucking with people who are working their job.
Yeah.
But one that I couldn't help but laugh at was the ones where people go into the bed shop. They'd be like, do you mind if I just try it out? And the guy's like, oh yeah, try it out, man. And he just like puts one foot on top of it and goes, oh! He's like, we'll take it. I think that's great.
Yeah.
Give me the giggles.
Or just do it for like 15 minutes. Do you remember that? It was one of the best sketches I've ever seen. It was Horatio Gold and his mate there, where the guy goes to hire an office and he's like, let me try it out. And then he just does all the things that he'd be doing in this office, but it's just slowly like his marriage is falling apart and he's having like choke wanks on the seat. That's great. At the end, he's just like, yeah, I'll take it. Trying to hang himself off the chair and all. Oh, it's very
funny as fuck.
Very funny. You're watching Voyeurs with your family, and I'm at home watching fucking KKK documentaries. That's my disease, like, you know, whatever it is. Just fucking you can't be left alone for 2 seconds without the documentary intake becoming dark as fuck.
Mainly on YouTube, is it? These documentaries that you watch?
Not strictly, no, but this one was on YouTube.
Yeah.
Just this German guy. Or no, he was Norwegian actually, and he was just visiting this guy who had his own little compound. He was one of them. What do they call him in the KKK? King Lizard or something?
Oh, Grand Wizard.
Grand Wizard. Man, King Lizard's way cooler. But yeah, you're sort of going like, yeah, I'm the Grand Wizard, and then you're like, yeah, you're just the Grand Wizard of what, bro? You've 2 mates.
Yeah.
You've 2 other racist mates who come around here, and
Yeah.
it's kind of, you know, like, you know, you're all sort of like, you know, we should stay fucking white and white power. And the guy, by the way, the SS shirt he was wearing,
Hugo Boss.
not even, this was like a green t-shirt with the 2 big SS things on it. And I was like, that's, you know, it's not uncool.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
The design of it.
Yeah.
But these boys can be all hard and fucking, you know, there shouldn't be any interracial mingling and, you know, you're destroying. Now, this is a nice point in the middle of his racism. He's like, you know, you're destroying both communities when you go interracial. You're like, well, at least he's thinking about the blacks too.
Yeah.
And he was just so angry and everything, but like, and trying to be all hard and shooting guns and everything, but you're like, there's something, what's the word? Like, kind of, you know, kind of sad that you're like so into something.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so he takes him into he goes, I suppose you'd call this a man cave. And then he's like a nerd, any other nerd. You know what I mean? He's like, yeah, this is my collection of, you know, white power flags.
Yeah.
And the whole place is covered. And then he's like, here's all my fucking Nazi badges that I collected. And you're like, man, this could be trains or fucking stamp collecting or anything, you fucking loser.
Yeah, if you took that energy with anything else, it's kind of cute.
Yeah.
But because you picked racism, it's diabolical.
Yeah, like the way this room looked, it might as well have been fucking Pokemon.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Like KKA meetings are basically Comic-Con.
It is. They're just guys getting together, and then of course the more they talk to them, the more
KKK.
they're like, the more they talk to them, you're like, oh, the guy's just angry about his childhood and
Well, that's
had one fight with a black guy in a bar, and now he's like full fucking.
I think I could get to the bottom of it. If I sat in a room with one of these fellas, you know.
I mean, ironically now you'd be like, Kanye West, my favorite person.
Yeah.
You know, turns out my favorite musical artist, black guy.
Yeah.
What's going on?
But yeah,
Absolutely love it.
It must really mindfuck them, that Kanye song, you know.
Yeah.
It really must just fuck with their heads.
Well, if you know, that's the way I prefer to look at the Kanye scenario. Is like this is some high end performance art that we don't even understand right now. Got to give it a few years.
Colin, you gotta the rope. It's like this here at the minute. Like,
Is there?
you know what I mean? We're really hanging on to the last thread here of the musical.
To the
genius,
point where
you
you're
know?
like, that Hitler song, the beat's fire though.
The beat is great.
That's how much we're fucking
You know what I mean? But you know,
hanging on to one hair. But it is a funny move, you know, if that is what he's doing, where he's like, I'm gonna make white supremacists like me.
yeah. You think he's doing a Kaufman?
I like to think so. Chances are he's probably just completely lost the marbles. Like, but
I would say, you know, nitrous-induced psychosis is probably a better
think so?
explanation.
I think he's huffed himself mental.
I think you can. I think, you know,
Again,
enough of them balloons.
We've joked about it before.
Party's over.
Insane drug to be addicted to.
Yeah, balloons.
His life's falling apart. He's never had Aesons. I don't even know if Aesons is still It's like, I wonder, you know, like boys who, you know, like you want to fucking take heroin or smoke heroin or something, you can't find your lighter, you're losing your mind. Is he like, where's that? Can someone give me a fucking balloon?
Yeah.
We've got a tank full here.
Do you think he's got, like, you know, at kids' parties, you'd have the clown mix all the animals and stuff for you?
Yeah.
He's just got one of them on deck?
Oh yeah, 100%. Like any rich guy who's a drug addict,
Yeah.
you can't just have like a personal stash.
Yeah.
I know that would be me if I was a cokehead. Like, I'd have a coke room.
Oh, yeah.
I'd be like, come on in, fucking wall, floor to ceiling, coke bricks.
that would be the most fascinating hard left in our character development if we were severely addicted to cocaine.
Yeah,
So expensive.
as if we don't talk enough bollocks.
Oh, yeah.
They would be absolutely nuts. Like,
I would be off to the races.
off to the races. Speaking of off to the races here, we might have to jump out of
50
here.
head minions.
Will we talk about your tattoo real quick?
Oh, yes. Shout out to Dom Gormley. Good
Stunning
friend.
bit of work there. Tribute to your father.
Yes.
Gorgeous. Gorgeous work. And would you like to explain the blueberries?
I
or-
got the Blueberries. His favorite song was Blueberry Hill by Fats Domino. And you know what it is? I procrastinated on this tattoo for so long.
That's one of the most tasteful tattoos I've seen.
Thank you.
Great.
Because I was like, I thought about it too long and too much, you know, where I'm like, it was worse than the first tattoo, the memorial tattoo, because you're like, okay, I do want to get something at some stage, but I also want to make sure that I like it. And then I was kind of like, okay, just P.O. in some way with like some sort of reference to him. And then I was like, well, his favorite song was Blueberry Hill. And I'm like, blueberries with P.O. could be all right. Said the idea, like thinking out loud to Dom. By the way, also last minute tattoo, which is the most fun, you know?
100%.
Didn't have time to think about it. Dom called me up for a catch up, and I was just like, what do you have today? And he was like, oh, I had a client cancel. So he's like, I'm just literally sitting about the office. And I was like, all right, so will you join me up for a coffee or something? Again, wasn't even hinting at getting a tattoo.
Yeah.
And then when he picked me up, he was like, do you want to get a tattoo? Like, do you want to get anything? And I was like, I've got that thought about getting one for dad, but I was like, I still don't know yet. And then he's like, well, sure, we'll go to the studio and like, no pressure. If you want to get it, we'll get it. But if not, it's fine. And then he's like, what were you thinking? And I just gave that description to him. Within 10 minutes, the guy had this design up. And I was like, man, that's fucking lethal. But then
no.
you can see the stencil a wee bit. Like, I was going to get it there. And he goes, if I was saying this to a client, I'd be a lot more subtle about it.
Yeah.
But because it's you, I will say, what will happen is you'll get that and you'll think, oh, I'm trying to like, you know, I don't want to have tattoos in the arms because then I'm like, it's fully visible.
Yeah.
Most things I'm wearing. But he's like, what'll happen is you'll get it there. And he's like, it'll mean a lot to you. And he's like, you'll like it. And you'll end up being like, fuck, I wish it was more visible. So he's like, let me just see with the stencil what it would look like on like your tricep.
Yeah.
And then he put it on and I was like walking about it and I was like, oh man, that is pretty cool now. But I still wasn't 100% sold.
Yeah.
And then that's when I texted you and I was like, what do you think of the placement here? And then I was just like, do you know what? Fuck it. Just do it. Just get it done. And then whenever it was finished, I walked up and I was like, fuck.
No,
I
it looks
love
fucking unbelievable. Great time. What'd your man think of it?
Loved it.
Oh, that's
quite
good.
emotional.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Quite emotional.
So weird place to put your mother in, you know?
Yeah.
If she was like annoyed about the tattoos anyway, and then it's one for your dad, she's like, that's nice, you bastard.
Yeah. I know, because she was like a wee bit emotional where like she kind of, you know, started crying a wee bit and I was like, she crying because it's a nice message or because I got a tattoo in my arm? What have you done?
You've ruined yourself. Or give you one of them backhanded like math things. So when we get it in my big fat arm, like fantastic, great times,
Yeah.
lovely. I love it.
It's funny whenever you get your first like. I was the same with the legs. You know, you get your first tattoo and you're kind of just like looking at it all the time.
Yeah.
You know.
No, I'm glad you, because I said to you, I was in the traffic and you were like, where should I get this? And I was like, I couldn't fucking answer you. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh God, get the arm. Come back and you've got, I just got the lower back.
Yeah.
Just got it above my ass.
Well, what I would say, because Dom can't say this, tattoo artists can't say this, but like, if a tattoo artist is hinting at you to change the design or placement of the tattoo, listen to them.
Yeah.
They've done so many tattoos. They're gonna know so much better than
Yeah.
what you think is a good tattoo.
Yeah, because all they deal with is like, you know, the body structure and fucking the shape of it, and they do it all every day.
Yeah.
And you're just like, just bang it right in the middle, just put it there, you know?
And then originally, like one of the ideas I had sort of floated was just continuing with the leg, and I could see Dom being like, "Yeah, you could do that," and then I took the piss out of him because you know, whenever someone like gives you two options, but they clearly want one option more.
One option's good, and the other one's absolutely dreadful.
Yeah. So I was like, probably either bicep or where you put it there, Dom. And then he was like, I mean, you could get the bicep, you know, and then, you know, you might wake up and think, fuck, I should have got it, you know, on the other arm, whatever, on the tricep, you know, maybe you'll regret it, you know, maybe you'll be like, fuck, you know, I wish now that I got it and I've seen what it looks like, I could put it back there. Or you could just get it in your tricep.
And it's grand.
And I was like, well, then I'll just get it in the tricep. Message received.
Yeah. Also, that would be absolute hell in there. You'd be walking around like...
2 weeks listening to Kanye.
No, you couldn't put your... you have a flight to get. You'd be fucking... It'd be a nightmare.
Oh,
getting in
yeah.
there, you know?
Yeah.
May as well get it out there. Fucking...
Man, the cling film unsettles people.
What do you mean?
Like, I went to meet my mates after in Pizza Ram, and they're like, what happened? And I was like, I just got tattoos just to keep it, you know, you have to do it for the first day at least.
Yeah.
And they're just like, oh, and then I went back to my friend's house, sat on her sofa, and she goes, McCann, go on, put your hoodie on and don't like put your arm around the new sofa.
The best one ever was Dutch Frank when he got a tattoo in... I think it's in there, actually. And he got it in... fucking New Zealand or something, and then they're like told him to keep the cling film on, and he kept it on for like fucking 2 days.
Oh yeah, that's
got
bad.
a like 20-hour flight, got the whole way back, it's full of
Infected.
fucking full of clots, and he's like, when do you take this off? And I'm like, hey, immediately.
Yeah.
Almost immediately.
Yeah.
And he's just walking around with his bag of mints hanging off his arm for fucking...
Well, that's the thing is, a lot of people do fuck up the aftercare of a tattoo.
Yeah.
You know, you got to get the cocoa butter right, rub it round, whatever.
Nice.
Take a shower, keep it moist.
Keep it moist and clean.
That's the way to do it.
And that's a lesson to take with you today.
Every day's a school day.
Keep it moist and clean, and that applies to everything. Tattoos. Pipes. Right, we'll get on over to the Patreon. Put in a shift over there. Patreon.com/the Bomb Squad Pod, folks. Get on over there. Hundreds of podcasts. 2 Ask Me Anything at Alls. We got the New York tapes. Have you any hints for next month who you might have?
Well, there's been quite a few requests after a couple of podcasts go to get Marito on.
Get Marito on.
Yeah.
Put him on a booster seat.
Marito.
Get you in the same shot.
Marito will be on, Bobby. The whole candle will be on
I
it.
think the whole Canada squad will come over and do Lavery's.
Well, Bobby and his mate Will are going to come over
Yeah.
this year at some point. Marito has already said, he's like, could I just come separately? And I'm like, absolutely, Marito. Get you an Oma. Imagine the old boys and Sally O'Brien's reaction to Marito sitting at the bar.
Yeah.
His wee feet dangling.
Classic. And there'll be the monthly Bog Squad with McCartney as well. It's all over there, guys. Cheers
Something for everybody.
Something for everybody. Cheers for listening, and we will see you next week.
Have a good week, folks.
Have a good week.
Bloody bastard!
Good luck and fuck yous.
Drop.